You don't deserve that robe, you uppity bastard. Detective Alara Vance screamed, the raw fury in her voice echoing off the cavernous walls of courtroom 4B. Her tactical boot connected with Judge Caleb Thorne's stomach, a brutal, sickening impact delivered right there in the open court of the Oak Haven City Justice Center. That kick was not merely an assault on a black judge. It was the explosive beginning of the end for a career built on 15 years of calculated cruelty and murder. Vance had just ignited a firestorm, completely unaware that the man she attacked had been quietly compiling evidence that certain powerful people desperately needed to stay buried forever, including video proof of a case that shattered a family and covered up the execution of a black teenager. The routine criminal proceedings instantly transformed into the spark that would trigger a massive federal civil rights investigation, one destined to expose deep-seated corruption at the highest levels of the city's power structure. The unmasking in courtroom 4B, a morning light, fought its way through the smog-stained windows of the Oak Haven City Justice Center. Judge Thorne, 52, with weary eyes and a sharp sense for deceit, reviewed the file before him. Maya Jenkins, 16, charged with disorderly conduct and resisting an officer without violence. The report, signed by Detective Vance, described her as aggressive and noncompliant. Thorne frowned. He had seen Vance's name too often, always tied to the arrests of young black teenagers accused of the same vague offenses. Something in this case felt wrong. Maya sat silently beside her father, Marcus Jenkins, who clutched a folder brimming with awards and report cards. His trembling hands betrayed both pride and fear. The courtroom door creaked open, and Detective Vance entered, her boots striking the marble floor like gunshots. Her pale eyes scanned the room, landing on Maya with the cold precision of a predator, before settling on Thorne with quiet disdain. She saw him not as a judge, but as an obstacle. Vance didn't know Thorne had been investigating her for months. He'd gathered reports, complaint records, and testimonies, evidence showing a pattern of abuse against black youth. This morning, he intended to push her to the edge. Detective Vance, he began, his tone calm but commanding, described the events that led to Miss Jenkins's arrest. Vance smirked faintly. Your Honor, I was on patrol in the Northern Heights District when I observed several juveniles loitering near the train platform. I initiated a community check. Thorne scribbled a note. Community check, the same euphemism she always used for harassment. And how many juveniles were there? 6. 5 males, 1 female. Only Miss Jenkins showed defiant behavior. The others dispersed immediately. So why was she the only one arrested? Vance's posture stiffened. She maintained direct eye contact after I gave a lawful command to leave. Her demeanor was challenging. Thorne leaned forward. Are you testifying that maintaining eye contact is a crime? In my experience, Vance replied quickly, it can be a precursor to aggression. And what would you consider proper behavior from a 16-year-old during a police stop? Immediate compliance, she said curtly. No questions. No auto. And if she asks why she's being stopped, that's not her role, Your Honor. Respectful citizens follow orders first. Whispers rippled through the courtroom. Thorne's jaw tightened. He'd read the arrest statistics. Black teens in her patrol area were 13 times more likely to be arrested than white teens. But one name in her record haunted him most. Adrian Sterling, a 17-year-old boy she'd shot 2 years earlier. Detective Vance, Thorne said, his tone sharpening. Let's revisit your encounter with Adrian Sterling. Do you recall that night? Vance's confidence faltered. That case was closed. I was cleared of wrongdoing. Yes, Thorne replied evenly. Your official report states Sterling reached for a weapon, forcing you to fire in self-defense. Correct. A justified shooting. Thorne lifted another file. Interesting, because your original report, filed 4 hours after the shooting, paints a different picture. Vance's eyes widened. Preliminary reports can contain errors, Your Honor. Thorne read aloud. Subject appeared to be running away when engagement began. No weapon visible at time of first shot. Gasps echoed. Subject was 15 feet away and moving away when shots were fired. No weapon recovered initially. The courtroom erupted into murmurs. Adrian Sterling had been shot in the back, unarmed. Thorne met her eyes. You murdered that boy, and the department buried it. That's a lot. Vance snapped, rising from her chair. You're twisting the facts. Thorne raised his hand. Enough. The truth is in your own words. He gestured to his clerk, Elias Gomez, who approached with a laptop. The court will now view the evidence. Vance took an involuntary step back. What evidence? She demanded. Thorne's gaze was unwavering. The footage you thought was destroyed. A video flickered to life on the courtroom monitor, dashcam footage from the night Adrian Sterling died. It showed Vance drawing her weapon as the teenager ran, hands empty, toward the streetlight. The first shot struck him in the back. The second, as he fell. Vance's voice echoed from the recording. "Stop resisting." The courtroom fell silent, the air thick with shock. Vance's pale face drained of color. "You can't. That video was sealed." "It was," Thorne said quietly, "until someone sent it to me, anonymously." He leaned back in his chair. "Detective, the justice system you've manipulated for years is finally turning on you." Vance's eyes darted around the room. No allies. No escape. Then her fury erupted. "You think you can ruin me? You don't deserve that robe, you uppity bastard." She lunged, her boot connecting with his gut before officers could react. Thorne collapsed against the bench as chaos engulfed the room. Screams, flashing cameras, officers rushing forward. In that instant, everything Vance had built came crashing down. But as security restrained her, a strange smile touched Thorne's lips. The world had finally seen the truth, and the real war for justice in Oakhaven had only just begun. The courtroom monitor flickered on, showing the long-suppressed body camera footage from Detective Alara Vance's encounter with Adrian Sterling. Judge Thorne's voice carried through the tense air. "This is the unedited video previously ruled inadmissible." Vance shot to her feet. "Your Honor, that footage was sealed by departmental order. It was leaked by someone who couldn't live with the silence," the judge replied. The grainy footage began. Adrian Sterling, a young grocery clerk, stood trembling against a chain-link fence, hands raised. "Please don't shoot, officer. I didn't do anything wrong," he pleaded. Vance's cold voice narrated, subject displaying suspicious behavior. The video, however, showed only a terrified boy in a market uniform. "You could search me," Adrian begged. "I just want to go home to my sister." His hands never moved, yet Vance's voice shifted. Subject reaching for waistband. Immediate threat. 3 gunshots cracked through the courtroom speakers. Adrian collapsed, lifeless. Then came her whispered words, barely audible. "Stupid kid, should have known better." Gasps filled the courtroom. "That was murder," Judge Thorne said quietly. Vance's mask of authority shattered. "You don't understand what it's like out there," she screamed. "That kid was trouble. I saved society the trouble." The phrase, "you people always twist things," hung in the air like a verdict of its own. Judge Thorne's eyes hardened. "Detective Vance, this is no longer about your defense. It's about the murder of Adrian Sterling and the system that protected you." He opened a folder stamped with the FBI Civil Rights Division seal. Federal authorities have been monitoring this trial for months. The courtroom doors opened, revealing 3 agents in dark suits. "Detective Alara Vance," said the lead agent, "you are under arrest for deprivation of rights, conspiracy to commit murder, and obstruction of justice." Vance's defiance cracked into disbelief. "This is impossible. Internal Affairs cleared me." Agent Carter stepped forward with handcuffs. "You have the right to remain silent." As they restrained her, Vance's fury exploded. She kicked Judge Thorne hard, sending him backward into his chair. "That's what happens when you forget your place," she shouted. Officers rushed in, subduing her as chaos erupted. The judge rose slowly, pale but composed. "Let the record show," he declared, "Detective Alara Vance has assaulted a sitting judge in open court." Agent Carter looked to him. "Your Honor, simultaneous raids are underway. 12 other officers, including Captain Reed and Lieutenant Doyle, are being arrested." Today's evidence completed the case. As Vance was led away in handcuffs, her defiance finally gone, the courtroom fell silent. The footage that once lay buried had brought an empire of corruption to its knees, marking the end of Alara Vance's reign and the long overdue dawn of justice.